was on that Valentina. We saw when they made those big comebacks, he goes Valentina full damage and he gets the job done. So DXS, I personally think this draft set up for success is up to JPNINERS to kind of get the ball rolling.
Yeah, we'll see how this plays out. I think I would have preferred the Jushin, but that's just me. I guess they want the extra bit of utility for the side of DXS, but generally we're expecting that JPNINERS is going to play a traditional pickoff comp. They've got a decent amount of scaling if it does get to the end game. DXS, on the other hand, are the ones who are looking to try and push that momentum. Siska and as well as Rossi have to work together during these turtle fights because I think first and second turtles are going to be by far the most important ones, especially if Subbat has not taken a death in lane, and more importantly, as it transitions into mid, he's going to be too big of a problem.
Yeah, I think on top of that, you also need to see if you can get Keemin into the fight early, right? Can you escort Keemin to find that far side? And that comes down to Siska and Rossi. Like this Baxia is going to be a big facilitator of that. If they can get the ball rolling for Keemin, it fixes a lot of that mid to late game quarries that they might have.
Yeah, but I am a little bit worried about the early game for DXS. I feel like that is the point where, as Gideon pointed out, things are going to be the most tricky because there is a good amount of early game presence and catch in the form of Kalea, Edith, and then the Farsa combo coming out of JP that they could use the snowball and create space for this Ling and Harif. In comparison, it'll look a lot more comfortable for DXO once they get to the mid game, and if Baxia and Phoveus can hold the early game long enough, then they shouldn't have to worry too much about late game scaling.
I think the 2 points that we have to look at is Turtle 1 and Turtle 3. Assuming that teams are going to be fighting for Turtle 3, right? Turtle 1, we can see that, yes, sometimes Link might not have the space, and they just decide to back off. We're going to go jump back into the game, but this is to keep in mind, right? First Turtle, if JPNINERS decide to give it up, that's actually okay, because level 4s are kind of on both sides. It really depends on the execution. If they don't want to risk it and get Zidane ahead, that's also a good decision to make. But Turtle 3 is one that you have to contest for.
All right, makes a lot of sense to me, but we're now in the land of Dawn for our very first game of Week 6, Day 2, and a very unfortunate timing there as Stome is getting beaten up in the mid lane.
Yeah, he will get the full wave, but might be forced to instantly recall after that. Well, at least it happens at the start of the game. We're going to get it checked out. In fact, I think it's called by the Niners.
Oh, it's called by Zidane, actually. Zidane going to make a call early on here. Pretty decent. That means Storm was just eating the shots for eating the shots.
Yeah, it's a type 1 pause, so shouldn't take too long. We just have to make sure that he gets to perform as optimal, right? Again, he's on a Link. Cannot miss. Give him that motivation, right? That push to become better, overcome that stage fright, and now they put him in at such a pivotal moment as we head into the game.
Well, if they put him in, then it means that he's definitely shown some progress in dealing with that, and hopefully we get to witness the rise of another rookie here on the MPL stage. As expected towards the early game, we're not going to see too much happen, but there is already a slight EXP lead for Hazelnut, so that'll be very good for the JPNINERS to play for that first turtle.
Interesting. Siska has decided to go for tenacity here. Zidane with an early retribution to try and slow Keemin down. Regardless of anything that happens here, these small little victories between the junglers will make the difference in the later stages until we see it happen.
Yeah, we see the Monster Hunter for Rossi too. So sacrifice a bit of that tankiness that usually you will see the tenacity on him. Really wants to help out the leash and the objective taking for DXO.
Very early game centric for that emblem set, because I doubt it's really gonna do much once you get to the mid to late stage. It's just to try and accelerate Keemin and make sure he doesn't fall behind Zidane. I can definitely see where they're coming from. We've seen a lot of good Lings yesterday.
We did see a lot of good Lings yesterday, but even so, this is going to be awkward position. Wow, that's actually doing some pretty decent damage with just the Monster Hunter alone. He can actually technically solo this at level 3.
Yeah, it means they're actually really prioritizing that early turtle, right? So again, to get Keemin ahead as much as possible, the budget hits 4. Hazelnut is still quite a distance away, needs to catch that mid wave first.
Yeah, it looks like both junglers are going to be looking to hit level 5 before they actually participate in this fight. So again, the laners, they just got to be careful. Oh!
ZachQT gonna get knocked up, but a beautiful Earth Shatter. Hits 2, make sure ZachQT can fly away.
That's the flicker out though, and Siska can zone stuff out away.
That's about gonna commit the onward. Siska continuing the zone. Keemin gonna be the first jungler on top of the turtle, and the rest of DxSoul is here zoning out the Niners. Hazelnut jumps in. Tsunami Slam gonna pull the Phobias backwards. Feathered Airstrike comes out as well, but DxSoul is so tanky. That's gonna be first blood over the Storm. Zidane maybe a little bit late here. He's gonna just have to get away. Keemin secures the turtle, and Hazelnut gonna be followed. Siska with the flicker. That's awkward from Stone, but they still win the trade.
Yeah, Stone with the freestyle in the end, kills himself, but it's fine. They got turtle, they got what they came for. Great cancel with the Dark Wave from Siska on the Feathered Airstrike. I think it wasn't really a good idea for Hazelnut to just pull Siska into the middle of his team. And now DxO, they've accomplished checklist number 1.
Keemin gonna pop the electrifying beats, kind of stuck between 3 members, gonna get caught with the onward. No more dashes, that means Zidane can follow up with Tempest Blaze, finish him off. Siska gonna get knocked up as well. A successful gank from the Niners.
Good cancel coming in from Sabat so he doesn't start going for that Infernal Pursuit so early on. Might have been able to outplay it and even get a kill onto Zidane. Oh, gets out of there, no problem. Generally, based on what I'm seeing so far, I don't know. Keemin goes in from a pretty awkward angle, while Zidane, again, just kind of taking his time. As of right now, I think that the JPNINERS, they got to be a little careful, right? With how far Hazelnut pulls somebody with a Tsunami Slam. You want them close enough to fall within range of the Feather Airstrike, but not close enough for Siska to easily get you knocked up with the Dark Wave. Yeah, it's something to keep in mind, at least even if he does, force him to use a Flicker.
Yeah, we saw the full commitment potential from DxO even in that early fight. It's a pretty scary prospect for the JPNINERS. I think for DxO, bit of a blunder topside after such a huge win, but they can still take priority just because of this Baxia.
And picking up, Baxia finds the Kalea. Tsunami Slam gonna pull Rasi back into the tower, but he's able to walk away. Keemin gonna choose not to commit on that. ZachQT still has his abilities.
I think at that point you just commit to it, right? Onto the Baxia. There's a good chance you probably won't kill him, but at least you get out that Revitalize. Anyways, again, there was 19 seconds left on the clock before the turtle actually happened, so it could have been a potential out for JPNINERS to contest it, but usually second turtle you just give it up, right? After the first one goes over to your opponents.
Yeah. Now with Zach being forced away too, Hazelnut doesn't have to ult, so Stoem with the Primal Wrath in hand should be able to secure this.
Earth Shatter knocks out Rasi. Lolil is here to start the fight. Revitalize comes out. Feathered Airstrike as well. Keemin secures the turtle away. Meanwhile, Storm chasing ZachQT down in backline. Zidane already committing Tempest Blaze. Gonna return fire. Siska and Rasi fall to Primal Wrath. It's a double kill for Sabat. And now Storm in trouble. You're not gonna survive a 4-man rotation. JPNINERS come out on top.
Really good fight for the JPNINERS. They really took their time with it. They don't mind sacrificing that turtle, and it all worked out in the end. Even ZachQT forcing the retribution out of Keemin gets him out of the way, and Skyzed unfortunately doesn't get to participate in the fight as often compared to Lolios, who just pushed out the lane, walked up. Skyzed threw the SOD, didn't connect, and then got there late.
And I think JPNINERS, they just waited out the initial burst of damage from DxO. The counter engage was great, right? They covered distance with Zidane. Hazelnut being able to peel DxO away from his front line, and Sabat with the Warcry plus Primal Wrath hits like a truck.
Sabat doing a big chunk of the damage in that previous fight. It would have still been more ideal if they gave kills to Lolil instead, but it's still not bad at all. Hazelnut gonna find Skyzed in the bush, not gonna commit the Tsunami Slam because Rasi is here, gonna collide with the Kalea, forces the Flicker out, and Storm not quite able to catch.
I'm pretty sure that Hazelnut had no idea he was in the bush in the first place. That was just a lucky clip.
Even a conceal was forced out. Not sure if DxO spotted that and could relay the info for the next 90 seconds. There won't be any conceal plays from JPNINERS. Rasi will start taking that bush control away from Hazelnut, which will give DxO some more space to play with, but probably might consider prepping for the top wave. They have lost the tier 1, but the third turtle is spawning there.
Sabat, he's going to get his Flicker back in about 3 seconds. Getting into an engagement now probably isn't worth their time. They're probably going to just play around the neutral objective again. Well, after everything that has happened, at least for Zidane, he's walking away with just a little more gold and EXP than Keemin because of all the interactions on the map. He has not died yet, he has not slowed down on his farming speed, and more importantly, I think that he's about to hit his second item relatively soon.
Yeah, I think things are going quite well for JPNINERS here. Both their cores have not really been disrupted in terms of farm. They pick up some good kills and assists of their own. Now they're controlling the turtle. Tsunami Slam gonna pull Phobius backwards. Feather Dancing comes out with well. Zidane secures the turtle. This guy gonna be picked off. Rossi as well melts away. Keemin trying to dive the backline, but he is too deep. He is alone. He's picked off.
No way.
Sabat surviving everything, and Storm cannot find him. He is going to be yet another number added to the casualty list as Lolio picks up the double kill.
Nicely done. Very nicely done by the JPNINERS. Again, getting Lolios involved in these fights is such a crucial part. And unfortunately for SkyZ, the most that they got was a T1, but wasn't able to land the SOD to get involved.
Yeah, and now DxO needs to change how they approach these fights. They need to start understanding that Niners just have a lot more damage before SkyZ can actively participate in these fights. Keemin now needs time for his items, because if that Electrifying Beast doesn't get a kill, Niners is going to overpower them.
Yeah, that 20% nerf really making the difference here so far. Not seeing the big one-shots from Keemin just yet. That's even before the Holy Crystal. Seeing just a little bit. 60 seconds until the very first Lord comes up, and so far JPNINERS have a solid lead over DxO. A 2.9k about to turn 3k, and these fights have not been as even as I would imagine it. It's pretty lopsided one way or the other.
You would have expected that DxO would be a little bit more capable of taking these direct team fights, but JPNINERS do look a lot more coordinated than we gave them credit for going into this final week. The question is whether or not they can close it out, because they have been in this position before.
Rasi and Siska are just getting blown up. Siska just got the item for that, right? The Athena Shield, in hopes that he can survive a bit longer, get a lot more of the Infernal Pursuit out. He knows he's going to go down anyways, but it would be nice if he can buy more time for Storm and Keemin to do damage. Especially Keemin, who's been able to find the back line, but just does not have the output.
Yeah, I mean, based off of his build, Siska is just looking for just raw items, right? That's why he took the Tenacity over the Festival of Blood. Oh.
Guys, they're gonna get jumped on by Zidane. The rest of the DxO is here. Hazelnut picks up one, but not the target he's looking for. SkyZ gonna be escorted out, and Flicker from Hazelnut actually gonna miss away. Meanwhile, we can see Siska in 1v2. He's gonna buy a lot of time. Feather Dare Strike should eventually finish him off. Rasi also zoning away Hazelnut, but now the rest of JPNINERS can engage. His Tsunami Slam gonna be purified away. Zidane gets picked off. Keemin fights him.
SOD.
Electrifying beats into the backline. SOD connects as well. DxO hits back hard. It is a double shutdown as they pick off 4.
Oh, the Trinity out for SkyZ off of that. Loliao, Zidane, Sabat, all giving away. Big shutdown goes to DxO. Look at that goal swing. 3,000 evaporated in a matter of seconds. DxO can easily take this first Lord.
Yep, and they will start rushing it. ZachQT is nearby. I don't know if they noticed him. Oh.
I think that was a bit early. He revealed himself before the Feather Dare Strike, and now he actually trades for Stone. But they do get the killing spree and the Lord in the end.
Pretty funny, though. He did end up losing his Flicker. Was it necessary? No. But does this buy a little bit of time? I guess. I mean, the Lord Wave isn't going to spawn until 11 minutes. At this point, they're just going to be being chill. Going to have to wait. Death timers aren't too long as well.
Yeah, I think ZachQT actually did DxO a favor, right? Delaying the Lord spawn. Could have gotten the Lord out instantly and maybe dealt with it. Now SkyZ is even going to freeze that wave.
Yeah, they send something a little bit off, and that is good. Sabat and Hazelnut are actually both waiting in that mid-bush for someone to show themselves. Lolil even trying to bait with it. But DxO took a good fight by delaying things. Let's see if they can repeat that success, because now they're baiting out the Zaman Force even.
Oh, that's actually not too bad. I think that Loliels was trying to push his limits a little, trying to bait out. He dashes forward. DxO noticed that this is a potential mistake. If they walk forward even slightly, he gets the auto attack, and that's why he drops the Zaman Force to be able to disengage. Even so, Lord still knocking at their door. How does Keemin get into these fights?
He just has to wait, basically. It's all about timing. He's waiting for resources to be utilized. The Lord will break the tier 2. Stone pops the Primal Wrath. Not really gonna achieve much with it, but they also get the tier 1 mid.
Well, it hurts. It actually hurts so much. SkyZ completing his Rose Gold media in the process as well, so giving him a bit more of that survivability against all these magical bursts from JPNINERS. And SkyZ so far this entire game, despite missing his SOD in the earlier fights, he has been doing a lot of work, right? He's been setting up side waves. He's been the one that's taking out the tier 1, both the side lanes. And now he's hitting his item spikes and even a level ahead of Loliel.
Yeah, so far it's pretty good. I think the marksmans generally just want to avoid each other in an honest 1v1. They want to do so much more by chunking out the rest of the team members. Loliel doesn't mind the 1v1 against SkyZ, but even so, he's got to wait for the Despair to come out. 60 seconds left on the next turtle, 12 to 8, a 3.2k for DXO off of that fight. And at the same time, it's anybody's game, right? Target priority is going to be key for Zach QT because it's not only Storm that he has to be worried about. If he can get access to SkyZ, that would be ideal. Siska has kind of bit of a non-issue at this point of time, especially if Zidane gets involved. But again, it's a scenario where DXO need to make certain things fall into place. Take the T2s, get Rasi to kind of get into that backline, or at the very least, threaten the position of Loliel's and Zach QT.
For the Niners, it's up to Zidane to really split that map pressure, playing side lanes as the lane, making sure that he gets the purple buff whenever possible. But DXO's Storm has reached a point where Primal Wrath on him gives him double value in what Subat gets, right? He's building full damage, Stallium Sight, Glowing Wand, Wishing Lantern, probably Blood Wings or Divine Glaive next. His Primal Wrath is going to eat up Loliel and Zidane alive.
Oh yeah, they're going to start chomping them real soon. And so, we'll see whether or not how much value he's really going to get from this, right? He is running in pure rage. He didn't bother going for the war cry in this particular scenario. He understands that it is a bit of a push and pull, and there's also a scenario where he just steals the Feathered Airstrike outright.
Yeah, Sky said he's not worried at all about the Ling jumping onto him. He's going for Malefic Gun next. So it's all magic defense. As long as he survives Loliel and Zach QT, Zidane should be a very easy problem to solve.
Rasi trying to start a fight, gonna roll in, hit Subat, pops to revitalize, counter Zaman Force, will still end up falling to Feathered Airstrike. Keemin looking for Zach QT, not able to connect. Now Ziska's been burned away, and a Tsunami Slam picks up Keemin. It's a shutdown, double kill for Loliel. DXO make a blunder. And Storm, you really should not be here.
Huge blunder from Rasi. Probably underestimated the amount of true damage Loliel dealt. He just blew up this box, which innately has damage reduction on his passive and his ultimate. So this lord for JPNINERS turns around another 3k goal in their favor. DXO experienced what JPNINERS went through a couple minutes earlier, losing whatever lead that they've gotten.
Oh, the back and forth. Both teams equally matched at this point. I mean, they understand what the assignment is supposed to be. But I think that DXO, if they're going to make a call together, they have to make it together. They can't be trickling in one by one, because that's exactly what this pickoff composition from JPNINERS wants you to do.
They want to tapper them out. They want to split apart the fight. And right now, the Lord gonna be crashing in. The mid inhibitor will fall soon. Primal Wrap by Storm. And baited out as well. The flicker inwards. Ziska finishes him off, but Subat also gonna be jumped on. Storm gonna be picked off by Zidane with Tempest Blaze inside the base. He's gonna go for the backline. Rasi loses immortality, but Loliel is finished off by Keemin. And SkyZ gets the double kill himself. He's punishing Zidane. We're pushing too deep. He's going forward more. It's a triple for SkyZ.
My man's come online. He is free hitting the entire fight. Siska and Keemin, they finally accomplished what we want them to accomplish. Hazelnut.
They want Hazel too.
Almost goes down. We spent the draft saying that if Siska or Rasi can facilitate Keemin's dive to the backline, it's going to be great. And they did exactly that. Keemin diving on Siska first of all, finding Zach QT, and Keemin running down Loliel. Well, SkyZ clears out the Lord and the rest of JPNINERS.
I mean, these long-range missiles are finding their targets. The guides are getting their marks in JPNINERS. Again, it's a game of not only scaling, but also having a collective team fight that is close enough to get maximum value, but not far enough that Zidane has to literally run around the world to make it happen. DXO, Keemin is in a very good position, looking to be able to one-shot that backline. I'm curious about the situational items from both sides. Do we have to go to a level where we stoop down to Winter Crowns, or are we just going to just double down on the damage? Because it looks like, at least for Zach QT, he's not even thinking about the tanks. He's thinking about blowing up that backline as soon as possible. Bloodwings on top of having a Lightning Truncheon.
And so that means that he has plenty of burst damage, which in this case is going to be more than enough. We see that Winds of Nature finally out from SkyZ, but Storm also going for a Lightning Truncheon himself. I think DXO needs to start recognizing that if JPNINERS runs at them, let Storm do the damage. Let Storm, as SkyZ, do the damage, because Storm could easily just one-shot ZQT
True,
and
but
Zidane, you know?
it's true, but he's also short range. It's walking up that is the issue, right? Getting up to ZQT's face ain't gonna be easy. He doesn't take appointments. This man doesn't have a secretary as well. There's no way to contact him, and you first have to go through Hazelnut. And that risk is just too much for them. I think right now, it's kind of between the EXP laners, Siska and as well as Subbat, to find the engagement. Now, Subbat, to be fair, he did have Pull Yourself Together. So he's actually encouraged to use his Flicker Earth Shatter more often than not. I mean, he's fully stacked.
He also has a Star in sight for the extra damage, right? Storm is looking to see where this Edith is. He wants that Primal Wrath.
Yeah, Subbat gonna show himself there. I think at this point, though, both teams are quite innately aware that it's not just also about the EXP laners, it's about those cooldowns, right? I think JPNINERS, especially playing more of a pickoff comp, are very reliant on their ability cooldowns. Hazelnut gonna get not spotted, actually, with that conceal, just perfectly blending into the river. The Exalt, though, clearly in control of the Lord Pit, and so far, JPNINERS can't quite get close enough. Even Hazelnut is being kept an eye on.
Yeah, he has no angle in. He got chased away by Rasi and Storm. SkyZ is not the easiest target to catch. He has to purify. So once that mid wave gets shoved up, DxO will go back to leashing the Lord towards their side.
Get first position on this Lord. In terms of waves...
Wait. Oh,
Ooh.
looked like they were gonna transition to Hazelnut there. Zidane is setting up that top wave. DxO not gonna try and blitz it yet. They know that he can come back very, very soon, but they're gonna have to commit to some housekeeping here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Primal Wrath stolen by Storm. SkyZ will deal with the wave. He can easily join with the SOD as long as it connects. Now it's JPNINERS' turn to try and leash the Lord, but they don't want to be in that position. It's always a scary thought if you don't know where the Moskov is. He shows on the map now. Hazelnut will take up space.
They're gonna have to play it slow right now. Rushing it isn't going to net them much, especially since the DX members can make the move. I think, both sides are utilizing the Lord the same way. They don't actually want the Lord. They're actually looking to fight more than, look for a pick-off for the side of JPNINERS. DxO looking for a full-on fight. They're missing a mid inhibitor already, but controlling the mid lane is pretty easy. SkyZ is too scared to go by himself. Oh wait,
Rasi gonna eat a lot of damage, but Summon Force has come out, and Rasi hasn't been forced to use Revitalize yet. So DX will feel a little more comfortable now. Siska gonna be sorting out Subbat, concealed from Hazelnut. He's looking for a chance, ideally SkyZ, but he's just
SOD
over. SOD connects with Lalil, pushes him against the wall, meanwhile the rest of DxO is stopping JPNINERS. It's unstoppable for SkyZ. They pop the immortality. Hazelnut falls as well. ZQT and Zidane, the only ones left. They're gonna have to make a hasty retreat.
Hazelnut tunnel vision. He wanted to zone out the backline, but he forgot that SkyZ can reposition, and DxO, Rasi surviving through all of that. Lolia didn't have the resource to fight. DxO jump and pull the trigger and win out that fight. Now this Lord could be the potential game ender.
I think it might just be here. I'm looking at wave clear. So far, wave clear is okay for the side of JPNINERS. I think that DxO, do they have a better wave clear? It's roughly about the same. I don't think it's easy for the junglers to get involved. Siska will find another inhibitor. Unfortunately unable to defend his own inhibitor, but the Lord just spawns, and at this point, unless they are looking for an endgame scenario, which isn't easy to find, who does Zidane target at this point? SkyZ has been showing how elusive he is. Even Hazelnut walks halfway across the world to try and get onto SkyZ. That SOD reposition won them the fight.
Yeah. He also cannot get Storm, right? Storm Purify's coming back up in less than 20 seconds. Has to Terrify. If he gets Primal Wrath, which he does, JPNINERS really doesn't really have a way to walk up to the course.
Here, conceal from Hazelnut. I don't really know if he has a great target though. SkyZ still has Purify, and he's just gonna zone himself out. Lord gonna finally take down the inhibitor. Zaman Force gonna be used as well. JPNINERS all collapse. Earth Shatter finds Rasi, but look at the DxO. They're already running down the backline, and SkyZ's focusing the crystal. He doesn't care about anyone in that fight. He's got his eyes on the prize, boys. That is DxO taking game number 1.
They're still focused. They've been making some good decisions overall. But let's see whether they can close this out in game number 2.